G'day there everyone, Daniel Anderson here. Welcome to this episode where we're going to take a look at the integration of Microsoft Forms in a Microsoft Teams meeting. So what this integration does is allow us to be able to create a poll and poll your attendees live during a Microsoft Teams meeting. Now there's a little bit of setup to do beforehand, but let's take a look and see how we go about doing it. So you can see here, I'm in Microsoft Teams. I've just started a new meeting and I'm going to add an attendee here. So I'm just going to add my account as an attendee, and let's now send that across. All right. So we'll send that across first. We're just going to then accept that as the external user. All right, so the external user in this case is my personal account, and we're now going to accept that. Now, what we'll do here is first thing we need to do is we need to edit this event here. All right, so let's edit this event, this Microsoft Teams meeting, and what we need to do first is we need to add the Microsoft Forms application as a tab. All right, so let's now add Microsoft Forms as a tab of this meeting, and then that's going to allow some additional functionality during the meeting. All right, so you can see here that we can create a poll before, during, or during the meeting, and we can collect the responses in real time. So let's now go ahead and save that, and that's going to add that to the meeting. Now, what you can see here is that we now have the ability to pre-create a poll. So we can create a poll now if we need to, or when we're in the meeting, we'll be able to then create a poll and publish that poll to the audience. So let's now join this meeting as Alex. And let's have a look at what happens now that I've added that Forms tab to that meeting. You can see now that I've got the Microsoft Forms icon as in the toolbox here. And when I click that, I'm going to be able to create my new poll. All right, so once that pane loads, I'm going to be able to create this poll. So let's now go ahead and create this new poll, and let's just call it, which is better? Very, very broad. So let's go SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive. So we'll go Teams on this one, and we will go OneDrive here. And what we can now do is save this. So we've now saved it. And once this has then been created, it creates it first in draft mode. So you can see here that I've got a green icon here telling me that it's in draft mode. And when I'm ready to launch it, I can click the button here to launch, and then that's going to pop up for all the attendees. Now, a little bit of a caveat here is that inside of the Microsoft Teams application, it will pop up as a card on the screen. But if you're using the web browser, it will appear in the chat window, and the users that are using the web client will need to use the chat window to be able to respond. All right, so what we'll first do is let's just show participants here. Let's request this account to join. So I'm just going to join here as this account so that we've got two people in. So you can see here that we've now got two people in the meeting. So what I'm going to do now is I'll jump back into polls, and let's launch this poll. All right, so we'll wait for that to load. It's still in draft mode. Let's now launch it, and let's take a look and see what happens. So what we'll see here, this is me as Alex. Once this launches, it's going to pop up for me as well. Okay, so you can see here I've got in the bottom right-hand corner, Forms has sent a card. I, as Alex, can vote on this. So I'm going to submit my request here. And you'll also see when I drag this across, this is me now logged in as Daniel. And I am now, although I'm in the meeting, I'm now presented with this card, which I am now able to submit. And once I've submitted, I get the results live, and now I'm done. But what you'll also see in the conversation section here is that it's been sent as a card in the chat. So I can also respond in the chat window as well. And that's what users will need to do if they're using the web browser. Okay, so I'll just drag this across. I'm now done. Now, this is still live. Now, what I can do here is, because I'm the one that created this poll, I've got a couple of different options. I can close the poll, I can export the results, or I can delete. All right, so first of all, we're going to close the poll. That's going to mean that nobody else is then allowed to submit their responses. I can view the options, but I can also now export these. So if I export these results, you can see here that it's been exported. I've got my downloads open here, and I've got the Excel spreadsheet of the results that have just been submitted. So we're going to export them into Excel. Now, we can also now, if we need to, create new polls. We can relaunch this if we need to. So when we reopen it, it's then going to pop up and send a new card, all right? And then people can then vote on that as well. Or I can go ahead and create a brand new poll for the attendees of the meeting. All right. So there we have it. Microsoft Forms integrated now into your Microsoft Teams meetings, and it allows you to create these polls in real time. We can see the responses. Great little feature there for your meetings. Thanks for watching. Hope that brings you some value, and I'll see you in the next episode.